I was diagnosed when I was 10 years old with diabetes, and I was obviously an immature kid and didn't know what the responsibilities were with controlling a disease like diabetes. And I was obviously angry and a little bit upset with God. Why did you put this in my life? Why do I have to inject myself with needles? And over time I learned to deal with it, and actually matured me in a way that I had to deal with my own diet and exercise and control my my life a little bit more than another kid would at 10 years old. Kevin Hansen, I played volleyball at Stanford University, and I now play with the U.S. national team, and next year I'll be playing in Turkey. I realized God was in control when I actually had a diabetic seizure when I was playing volleyball at a Junior Olympics in, I believe, Denver, Colorado, and I had exercised obviously for 3 days in the tournament and taken a little bit too much insulin one night, and woke up the next morning and did not eat enough the night before, and sure enough went into a seizure and had to be rehabilitated with the paramedics. And I think I realized then that, okay, God, you have this, this is in your hands, and I obviously have to be able to manage this as a young adult, but you are really going to be leading my life in everything, not just diabetes, but also my decisions with volleyball and life. As a volleyball player in college, I didn't expect to play after I graduated, and sure enough, I had an opportunity to play overseas in Portugal, and I was unsure about the idea, but I thought this is an opportunity that God's showing me to maybe pursue my career, and I went over and unfortunately became very unhappy and a little bit lonely, and alone in a foreign country where you're not familiar with. God started speaking to me a little bit, and I ended up bringing a Bible, and sure enough spent more time with God that time than I had ever in my life. I began to go on walks, which is something that I don't normally do. I learned more about humility and also perseverance. I was really not wanting to continue on my volleyball career, and he was clearly saying throughout this, no, trust in me, there's a plan here. And I stuck it out and persevered through the season, 8 months, and ended up continuing to play volleyball, and God opened an opportunity to play on the national team. And 3 years later, I was playing in the Olympic Games, so it was actually a really awesome time to see how he spoke to me and showed me that, okay, this is my plan for you. You need to stop being selfish and listen to my calling, which I'm grateful that I did. To rely on God daily is obviously, prayer is a huge part of my life. The fact that we, as professional volleyball players, travel so frequently, a church community is very difficult for me because I'm out of the country so often, and I am so thankful that I have those times where I can just rely on prayer to talk to God and see what how He's speaking to me and how He wants me to be as a father, as a husband. That's something I think everyone learns daily, that when you spend more than 5 minutes in prayer, I believe God is gonna speak something awesome to you, and that's something that I've really, in the last 6 months, as my daughter has been born and new challenges and new events are coming. I believe he's speaking to me more through that time in prayer as I continue to travel and be abroad. I'm also looking towards a community that I would love to be a part of, and I think being a part of a church community and an accountability group is something that is important, and also vital to our spiritual journey. I can actually think of one specific opportunity where God was really speaking to me and through others. I think I was in Russia, and for the last 3 years I lived there, and their religion there is Russian Orthodox, which I don't know a whole lot about, but I know that it is extremely strict, and a lot of my teammates that were raised in this religion that they aren't passionate about. They don't have the desire to see Christ through these churches. And I was able to speak to them my experience with the church and how I saw a God that was forgiving and loving and embracing, rather than a cold, strict God that they saw. And that was something that really opened my eyes to how, my experiences with the church and with God have influenced me or influenced others to see a different God, and that spoke volumes, I think, to them to see a different God that they have been raised to know.